my name is Chalisa Hongpothipan.
Hello, my name is Sasikan Niwat. Our project is Dual Input Controlled Fan System. This project is about a fan system that can be turned on or off using either a bottom switch or a touch sensor. The system is controlled by Audio Uno. When the user presses the button or touch the sensor, the fan starts or stops. The dual input system gives more flexibility and is easy to use with both physical and contactless control. The main object of this part is to design and implement a fan system that can be controlled using both a push button and use touch sensor. By integrating these two input methods, the system offers flexible and user-friendly control over the fan operation. The Audio Uno microcontroller is used to process input signal and toggle the fan stage accordingly. This project aims to demonstrate how simple electronic components can be compiled to create a dual input control system, which can serve as foundation for more advanced smart device application. It's also highlighting the practicality of combining mechanical and touch-based input systems to ensure accessibility and convenience for users. We have 8 main components that we use. First, Audio Uno to process input and control the motor. Second, a baseboard used to establish the connection between all components and arrow for prototyping. Third, a DC motor used to represent the fans. Fourth, a transistor number TA6586 to include supply sufficient power to drive the motor safely. Fifth, a transistor 10K. Sixth, a power supply to connect to both the audio and the motor. 7. A button switch. And 8. A touch sensor.
In the first of the code, we need to set up the define function to set up the location of the pins. So the DC motor is set up in the pin 9 and the button switch is set up in the pin 2. For the touch sensor is set up in the pin 3. So the second part of to set up the code is set up function. In the first line of this function, we need to set up the motor pin as an output for DC motors. In the second line, we need to set up motor pin in the input or pull up. In the result of the line is when we press is low, when we not press is a high. And the third line is set up the touch sensor. Normally, touch sensor the output is high when we touch. So in the final part of to set up the code is set up the loop function. The initial set up the button, the last button state to store previous state of the push button, and the last touch sensor is previous state of the touch sensor. Finally, of this setup is set up the motor pin to keep track of the motors is high or low. Okay, so for the button press detection part, check if the button was just pressed, the transition from the high to low, and we need to set up delay for 200 for the toggle of the motor stage and wait, mainly to prevent the bouncing of the motors. And for the finalities of this loop is motor control. The motor is turned on and off based on the current motor state. We show the demo state of this project.
Okay, when we paste the push button at the first time, the fan was turned on. And when we paste the push button again, the fan was turned off. Here, เลย1 Also, when we use the touch sensor, when we touch the touch sensors, the fan was turned on, and when we don't touch, the fan was turned off. เอาเลย Touch and don't touch.